Hi, everyone, and welcome back to The Things We Know. Today, I'm so excited. We get to celebrate a woman who is having an extraordinary moment. Trinette Faint is a screenwriter, actress, and creative entrepreneur whose short film, Party Pants, was just selected for the Berlin Indie Film Festival, and she took away the award for Best Actress. That is a huge deal. And the best part is that the film is completely hers. She wrote it, produced it, directed it, stars in it. Kari and I both watched it, and it hit hard. It is funny, but man, I related to every single bit of that
Yeah,
movie.
it's really fun. Yeah, this film is a bold, witty 11-minute story about a woman staring down her 53rd birthday, wrestling with the things that women wrestle with, like marriage, identity, what it means to still want more. But Party Pants is just one piece of Trinette's creative world. She also runs Floor 51 Productions in Boston, championing diverse voices in film, and she's the founder of Chez Faint, a new venture that brings together side hustlers, creatives, and thought leaders for intimate dinners and wellness retreats in places like New York, Rome, and LA.
Everything she touches seems to orbit around one idea, which is helping women tap into purpose-driven connection, whether it is through storytelling, travel, or a shared meal that turns strangers into friends.
Trinette brings both heart and experience to every conversation, and we can't wait to talk with her about art, midlife reinvention, and the power of gathering. Trinette, welcome.
Thank you, Kari. Thank you, Lisa. So nice to be here. Really appreciate it.
I
So
always
happy
love
to
to
have you.
ask people after they hear themselves be introduced, like, is it surreal or are you getting used to it?
Well, it's always a bit surreal because um, it reads very well on paper, and yes, it is reality, but it's still like weird, you know?
Yeah. I saw Liz Gilbert speaking recently, and she's about the same age, I think. And she said, I just want to say I'm good at this. And it's really hard to say that, but I don't think women in their 50s ever get to that graduation place where they say, yeah, I did all that. I'm good at that.
So true.
Uh, let's start with the film, although I want to get into all of it. But so Party Pants follows a woman on her 53rd birthday,
Yes.
wrestling with identity, love, and the sense that life should somehow feel clearer by now. So where did that story come from for you?
Well, ironically, I shouldn't say ironically, but I was in the gym one day and there was this trainer and she was training someone and she had like the best legs and ass I'd ever seen. Okay. And I'm over, in the corner doing my thing. And, I have joint pain. I've had two knee surgeries and stuff. So, like, one of my legs is weaker than the other. And it doesn't seem like no matter what I do, I just can't get it back to parity like normal.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my thing and I start getting like really competitive with what they're doing in my head in the gym. Because that morning I looked at this pair of pants that I have and they did not fit as well
Mm.
as they did a year ago. And I was like, what the hell has happened between like 52 and 53? Like, what is happening? Like, I didn't feel like I really gained any weight, but those pants would tell a different story, apparently. So I'm in the gym and I'm watching them. And of course, this trainer, she was probably 25 or 30. Okay. So she could have
Right.
been my child. So I should know more than anybody to not make that kind of comparison. That's like comparing yourself to someone in a magazine. Like even the person in the magazine does not look like that. But yet we do. And I'm, doing my thing. And I'm like, I can do that squat, whatever. But I can't do that squat. I can't even like, I can't get my legs parallel to the ground anymore. Like I'm 6'1", so and I have very long femur, and it's always been a challenge for me to get like super parallel in a squat. Even more so now, like with my bad knees, my arthritic knees. Thanks, mom. Thanks. Uh, so I'm like going at it in my head, and I came home, and I'm like, what am I doing? You know, I looked at those pants again, and I just thought to myself, I just feel like I need to write about that.
Love
So
it.
I just started writing and I didn't overthink it too much. It only took me maybe a day to write that.
Wow.
And I wrote it. I didn't do a whole lot of revision on it because I just thought I'm just going to just write this thing. And one of the other reasons I wrote it was that I wanted to show like what I was capable of doing as a writer and actor and all these things.
That's cool.
And most of the jobs that come through Boston are commercials. And I'm in a couple of commercials now, but there's no dialogue. And a lot of them don't have dialogue, you know, due to the voiceover over the action. So all the emotion is like in the face. And that's well and good. But I was like, you know, I kind of want like something else, but I guess I'm just gonna have to like write it and do it myself. So between having that thought and then the whole experience with my own pants and being in the gym, I wrote Party Pants. And I don't have a husband and I don't have children, but as you saw in the end, I did have Avery, my dog, who died a year ago tomorrow, actually.
Aww.
So my daughter in the film, that's a nod to obviously Avery, my daughter. So yeah, so I just wrote it and then just kind of put it out there just to see. I was like, oh, this is, you know, kind of better than I thought it was going to be, like when I started seeing the rough cut. And so I said, let me see what I can like really do with this. So I just started submitting it everywhere. And, you know, this was a relatively very fast time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote it in spring, late spring, I think, or early summer. And then I went to France France and Italy for like 3 weeks in July. And it was when I was in France that I crewed up for it. I found my crew because I had sent it out to a couple people, directors that I know, and I just like didn't hear back from people, and I got tired of waiting on people. So I was like, you know what? It's not rocket science. I'm just gonna do it myself. So I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it myself, but I'm gonna just manifest this. I'm gonna manifest the money for the crew. Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'll figure it out, right? So I did. I hired them and I came back and we shot it 2 weeks later because I had a very short window of which I was able to shoot it because we shot it in my place. And that was pretty much it. And then I got the rough cut and once I got the final cut, I started sending it out and then, you know, I gave it a premiere, like the whole thing. So now it's this whole like afterlife. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great.
that is a crazy turnaround time. We're very slightly in the industry here in LA. So I know how fast that is. Very quick. That's amazing. And I love that you just decided to do it yourself. We have another friend who lives in New York who is the same. She's the same thing. She got to a certain age and she thought, you know what? I'm not going to wait for people to come to me. I'm going to start writing, directing my own stuff. And she's done really well with that. You said something though, shoot, that I wanted to ask and now it's gone. Crap. Oh, I know what it was. The fact that you didn't do too many revisions. I think that's probably the reason people are resonating because you didn't overthink it. You just literally wrote, I mean, the old adage, right? No, but it's like everything that happened. The way you interacted with your husband.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't have a husband and you wrote that so well.
The way you woke up was just, and maybe because I was watching it this morning with like some similar aspects of waking up. I was dying. It was so good.
I just thought every single bit of that was so spot on. And so I think that is an absolute reason not to overthink it or overwrite or do too many revisions. So well done.
I mean, you know, her whole thing about Paris is longing for it, and she's just so irritated.
Yeah, she's
like, fuck, I'm still here.
Right. Oh my gosh.
You know, she gets a little revenge on him.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, that revenge. Oh, I laughed so hard. It was so good. I mean, that's the thing, right? This is the tone is very powerful because it's funny, it's awkward. Again, deeply human. I doubt there is a woman who watches this, and it will be in our show notes, so you'll be able to go watch it on YouTube. That mix of humor and honesty. I mean, it's a signature, right? Do you feel like that's a signature of your storytelling?
Yes. The other stories that I have written, I have 2 TV pilots that placed as semifinals in this other contest. And those, you know, I rewrote a bunch of times. I definitely overthought those a lot, even though one of those is based on one of my novels.
Ah,
But it still was just a lot, because I was competing, with so many people in this contest.
sure.
But the difference with Party Pants, like I said, I just kind of in the moment just wrote it and didn't overthink it. And I already knew the actor that I wanted. I'd worked with him before and all that stuff. But yes, I think that tone of realism and I guess humanity
Yeah.
does play into my other stories. Fiona was very special to me. Like it's her story, but I knew that so many people would be able to relate to it. There's still, in my opinion, not enough stories out there that speak to women who are 50 plus.
Right.
You know, um,
Totally. And also
yeah,
without like feeling tragic and sad and like old lady,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you're in like cute little underpants and an Aerosmith shirt. Like
Yeah,
that's real life, right? That we're
that
not
was
yeah,
great.
dressed in like these old nighties and all these things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was, I love the footage of Paris and that you were dreaming about it too. That
Yeah.
was really, really cool. I not to give it away. Sorry for the listeners. I just loved how that all came together. It was so realistic.
I mean, every woman dreams of Paris, and
Except for Lisa.
I'm frightened. I have a past life issue with the Eiffel Tower. We don't need to go into it, but I do. So I
Well,
well,
will
you're right.
probably
it could have been anywhere,
true,
but
true.
for
Right.
her, it's
Yes.
Paris. And
Yeah.
the Berlin Indie Film Festival was the first one that I had submitted to. I mean, this was all on a wing and a prayer and a lark. I was just like, okay, I'll just enter into these different categories. I entered into, I think, 9 festivals. So that was the first one I heard back from. Um,
Wow.
and I was just like astounded that when I got the notification that I was, accepted and then that I won, I was like, oh my goodness, like this is wild. So it's like
Congratulations. That's so cool.
hugely like validating
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything. And like you said, Lisa, I think it's a lesson for not overthinking things so much. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like if you have something that you want to do, you should just jump in and do it
Yeah.
because it's that, I guess that rawness of doing something where your heart is, your passion is, like that is what hits. That's what resonates. Like people can tell if something is like over manufactured or comes off as inauthentic or something. But when you just go for it, you
Yeah.
have nothing to lose.
That is
100%.
that is such great role modeling too, because I want to zoom out a bit anyway, because what you're doing with project or like what you're doing through Floor 51 Productions, I think feels bigger than one project. So how cool for you to model it, right? Like, because it sounds like you've built a space for voices that haven't always been invited in. Is that correct? Like you really kind of tried to create a
Yeah.
space for other people. So what was missing for you in the industry and what made you decide to create your own production company instead
Well,
of waiting for a seat at someone else's?
right. Well, let me take 2 steps back before I answer that.
Yeah.
So I started modeling when I was 16 in Chicago. And back then, Black models were not working, not like today.
Yeah.
And I went to Paris and I did all these things. And I was constantly told that I was not wanted, that I was, because I was Black. I mean, they would say it.
Yeah.
There was, no two bits about it.
I was gonna say, were they that blatant?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I had an agent at this very small agency in Paris, and I went over to try, and this was in, oh gosh, 1990, 91. Oh my God, that's so long ago. And, and there was like no work, there was recession, so only a few of the very big models were working. So I was going around to other agencies looking, finding somebody else, see if somebody else can rep me. They would all say the same thing. Oh, we don't want a Black girl. We need a Black girl. Like, they are nobody. Clients don't ask for them, or it's either that, or oh, you're too Black, or you're not Black enough.
Mm.
I don't know if you can see, but I have freckles. I'm in no way am I ethnically ambiguous or anything like that, but I'm like kind of right in the middle of the spectrum. And the fact that they would say this was just like
Well,
astounding.
and you're absolutely stunningly gorgeous.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
it was just this unbelievable thing that I absorbed like way back then, like of of not being able to like kind of penetrate a space where I wanted to be.
Mhm.
So eventually I would get some commercial work and I had this like different type of career than I envisioned. So fast forward a number of years when I start writing, my heroines, I typically write from the perspective of like Black women existing in like A-list spaces because I've had like 9, 10 lives and I've done like lots of different things. Like I was always writing and doing all my creative stuff like in the background of anything that I'd ever been doing. In another life, I was Matt Damon's assistant. I also
Oh, wow.
supported president and provost of Harvard. I worked at a private equity company in Boston. Um,
Wow.
and then I was at Google for 6.5 years, and I lost that job last year, which launched me into this kind of creative gap year that I'm in.
Nice.
So it was when I was at Google, to get back to Floor 51, I was on a mental health break because I was in this situation where like toxic team, well, not team so much, but manager,
Mm,
this whole
Mm.
thing. We've all been there.
yep.
And it was just like too much. And I ended up like stepping out of work for a few months. And it was in that time that I said to myself, oh, okay, well, the first 50 years of my life have looked like this. Like, how do I want to look going forward? And I was 51 at the time. So that's why I called it Floor 51. And I just
Oh.
to like really kind of start leveling up all my creativity.
Mm,
So I, did my own podcast. I was taking voice lessons. I started learning how to write screenplays. I enrolled at UCLA for screenwriting, and I earned that certificate last summer of 24. And I was just doing all these different things. So the impetus behind Floor 51 was, you know, from being rejected from things that I could not control about myself. It's like taking those voices in my characters as what am I trying to say? Just writing about women existing, like women of
yeah.
color existing in the world without roots in trauma,
Hmm.
shame, or something, like as unapologetically prosperous and thriving as anyone else in these spaces generally set abroad, because I wasn't seeing that represented in any kind of literature or TV, film, any kind of media. But I would go do all these things and all these different lives I've had. And I was like, I know we're out there because I'm out there and I
Right.
see other people like me out there. So why is this not reflected in storytelling? So
Mm.
that was why I started um, Floor 51 while I was on that break, because I was like, okay, well, I'm going to formalize the way in which I tell these stories and like how I put them out in the world through this production company. And I do have plans to work with other people, like helping to develop their stories and their ideas, and collaborate with people in different ways. And in the space I'm in now, given Party Pants, I'm trying to sort out how can I be in this business if I want to be kind of outside of it, or if I'm not fully accepted because it's just, well, it's the
Yeah.
business.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I have to be like really original and like think out of the box and stuff. Um, and since a lot of my stories are set in Europe, because I travel a ton, so I'm like, well, if I'm in the world, my character is going to be in the world.
Yeah.
I'm looking at European producers and stuff as well. I went to the London Screenwriters Festival back in the spring and pitched my stories there. I may do it again next year. So things like that. So Floor 51 is this kind of unique production house that it will continue to evolve, that I've set up to meet my needs and how I want my characters to be perceived in the world.
Very cool.
It's so cool. Again, I just love the idea that you made your own table. You thought, fuck
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
I'm making my own table. I'm not waiting for anybody else, and I also think it's really fascinating to do it at this age, right? I mean,
Yeah.
again, Carrie and I are all in
Yeah.
about it doesn't matter how old you are, the best can still be ahead of you. But many women at our age, and we're a little older than you, but many women at our age are like, well, this is it. I was just talking to my daughter, and she was saying there's an idea called an encore profession. This idea of like you've had your sort of your main profession in life, and like what are you doing next? Like what's your final thing you're going to do? And I just, again, not that this is going to be your encore profession. I feel like this is literally just the beginning for you.
Yeah.
But I just, it's a fascinating, you were just like, let's do this. I think that's so
Yeah.
very
I
cool.
mean, if not now, when? Like,
Well,
I just
exactly.
turned
Yeah.
54 in September, and I was like, first of all, I don't know how that happened. Like, you go to bed at 38, and then you
Right.
wake up at like 47, and you're like, what the
Right.
fuck?
Except your
And then,
brain's still 18. Like I still feel
Yes.
18 in my head, right? But I've had a hip replacement. And so I feel you on the like, I can't move the way my brain thinks I can, but my body does not think I can.
Yeah. Waking up, like those wake up moments where your body's like,
Yeah.
and like now you totally get it. Like, I remember you'd see like older relatives or just people, you know, they'd be like, oh, and I'm like,
yeah.
walk over here, you know.
I over related to the chin hair. That made me chuckle out loud and wake up my husband, because that is just a whole thing with my cousins and my sister and I. Like, we're all like, okay, we have a pact about that, right? If I'm ever in a coma, you're gonna come pluck the chin hairs. So like, yes, those are the
Amazing.
signs.
Yeah.
So
Those
you're,
things are sneaky. You don't
you
even
are
know it.
so,
You're sitting at a light and in a car at a traffic light, and that
Yes.
sunlight hits your face differently, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Like, have I been?
No, you almost hear chimes when the light hits it.
oh my God, chimes.
You know. Yes. Mm.
All right. Oh my gosh, we could go on and on about chin hair.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing, and this is why the minute we got your request to be on the pod, it was like there was no question, because we just knew you're our people. Like this is the things you're doing is exactly what Kari and I talk about so much with our coaching, with our retreats. And a big piece of that is this idea not only of creating your best next chapter, and that's exactly what you're doing, but also I was really interested around these dinners, because one thing that we know, again, we hear a lot about, we really lean into with our retreats, is how women are craving a different kind of connection.
Yes.
Less of the networking and passing out the business cards, more conversation, less performance, more belonging. And you've said this too. So,
Yes.
what do you think is shifting for women who want to collaborate and connect right now? Like, what is it that is drawing us into that at this time?
I think as you get older, there is a certain fearlessness that comes with that,
Yeah,
and that women of our age are definitely more open to just talking to people and stuff now. You know, I think traditional networking as we all knew it, or pre-COVID, let's say, uh,
yeah,
you're at a work event, and now we're at the Sheraton. Go in the lobby and have
Mm.
a beer with a wingding and talk to Joe from accounting.
Make 3 contacts, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, or someone from the other consulting firm. And there was a time and a place for that, and that is just gone. First of
yeah,
all, it's so boring and inefficient, and just no, just
yeah,
I think, so much of what happened over COVID, like everybody being disconnected for so long, that there is just still, I feel like, this craving for people coming together, especially since over COVID, like people just dispersed and left and moved everywhere. So you
yeah,
can't have those people in your daily life anymore, but you still have this desire for, a crew and to find your people. If you,
yeah.
Mm.
I just had a Chez Faint event in San Francisco. I guess it was about a month ago now. And because I've had 9 lives, I knew that certain people would really benefit from knowing these people and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So it was so wonderful to see these very different women come together and each talk about how what this person is doing that could benefit them now and what they're doing and so on and so forth. And they have gone on to like connect in the post Shade Faint world, and they're just kind of doing their own things now. And it's just so wonderful to be helping people make these connections and strengthen their networks, you know?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and just watching them just talk and, you know, just get on so well. It's really,
And I
mean,
think women love to do that, right? Like
yeah,
we love to figure out how we can help each other help each other.
yeah,
Which goes
yeah.
against the narrative that the media puts out that we're all fighting each other. Really, when you get a bunch of women together, we're just like, what can I do? How can I help? Wait, how? Ooh,
Right.
I'm thinking of this person. I should introduce you. Yeah.
Both Lisa and I we met working for a company that was training coaches. And so often, you know, what's being taught in any of these entrepreneurial kind of build your business type thing is to do the masculine version of that, right? Just everything you were just describing, make the contacts. And it caused people so much stress. And I remember thinking, what if you just went to these and you were the kind of person people felt good around? Like just ask one person a bunch of questions, show them the kind of coach and the kind of person you are. And if you could go be authentically yourself and not worry about, like not stress yourself out about finding somebody, but let people find you, how would that be? Right. And they ended up really loving that more. And they would come back and be like, oh, that was so much easier. And I think that's just inherently a feminine way of doing it, is come together and be yourself, and how awesome that is. Because like you said, and it's my favorite thing about our retreats and about anything I do that pulls people together, is watching what happens from there. Like just being a pollinator for other people is so great, right? Like you guys have this in common, and we don't even plan that, but it's just the coolest thing about our retreats that, people come together. Like you two are like taking a pause and going to grad school, and you two are both going through a divorce, and there's just all these things that people came together and left with that we couldn't have predicted.
And you also don't get that online.
Right.
On the big networking platforms that will remain nameless. We all know them.
Yeah.
But they're just so bad now. And I'm sure you ladies get all these inbounds all the time, like I do. Just, oh, do you need help getting customers? And, da, 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 like all these things. And I'm like, have you read the profile?
I know. Oh my God, it kills me.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Last week, someone sent me an inbound saying, oh, I saw that, so-and-so from your former company said you were very good at this. I was impressed. And I want to know if you like schedule call and talk about it. I wrote back, and I usually never wrote back, but I was so irritated. I wrote back, Susie, whatever her name was. I said, I received the exact same email from someone else at a different company last week with the exact language that you're talking about. Please be more original.
I also write back because they drive me crazy. I mean, for as many that I let go, every once in a while, like once every 10, I write back. And for me, I don't know if you get this, but I say no, and then they come back with and I say no. And finally, the other day, this was actually through the pod email. I said, for the love of all that is holy, no means no. And they just went back, all right. I'm like,
I mean, I think it's like we get a lot of interest, and so funny when somebody reached out and Lisa had to answer, no, I don't think we'll be talking to you about male enhancement surgery. Do you even look at what our profile is? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're looking. They're just doing a batch thing, like whatever the mail merge version of that is, and just sending these things out. And that turns so many people off. So when you say to someone or ask someone, their feelings around networking, that's the first thing that comes to mind, because in this digital space. But when you get them into, an intimate environment, like what we're doing, is a completely different experience. And that is like what people want and what they need.
How many people do you usually invite to these events? Like, is it pretty intimate? Like what are we talking about?
I usually invite maybe around 10.
Yeah, nice.
Probably 7 or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect, because then everybody does get a chance to really connect and have a moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything bigger than that would be, some people wouldn't probably get the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm doing a larger thing, when is it? End of March, in Rome, doing a retreat there outside of Rome.
Nice.
And that one's going to be, kind of what we're talking about here, but on this idea of like, recentering this wellness piece, but then also redirection. So like for people who are at these crossroads, who are trying to figure out like, what are they going to do next? Like, how do they do it? How do
Yeah.
they really define if that's what they really want to do, or if they're reacting to something, like that sort of thing. So that one should be good too.
Oh,
I think it should come to that. I mean,
yeah, man.
anyway.
So what it sounds like you're all over, like bi-coastal, like you're in UCLA,
I mean,
you're in
I would say
Boston.
global.
Global. Yeah. So how do you cultivate community for you? Like, just, do you have a group of people that are your ride or die that you're in community with as well?
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
do you only have time for these intentional
No.
networking?
Because I've had so many lives and I have lived all over the place. I have like a trusted group of girlfriends that, we all have them, we all love them and need them. Somebody you can call and be like, I need to know this email. Can you look at it real quick? You can take
Yeah,
2
yeah.
seconds to look at it. Is this a crazy response? Should I sleep on this? Like that sort of thing. So I've definitely have a crew. Some I've known for quite a long time, But I really
Right.
enjoy kind of being out there. Like I get so much inspiration for
Mhm.
writing and just other things. I start to get antsy actually if I'm home for too long.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I can't imagine living the life you've lived and all of a sudden just sort of settling down. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
even feel like I can't, that doesn't feel real. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I'm actually leaving next week to go back to France for a couple of weeks and then hitting up the Netherlands and London before I come back. So
Wow.
that's going to
That's
be
exciting.
a zinger.
That's
I'm going to a
amazing.
networking event in Paris.
Oh,
Actually.
interesting. Not too many people say that.
This is a massive one, but it looks pretty cool with different people from creative industries and stuff. So I was like,
Doesn't sound like one to pass up. For
No,
sure.
no.
yeah. I had
So
enough
we-
air miles, so I was like, I'll go.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, so that's interesting because, again, clearly we're talking about we are all women in our 50s. And I mean, Kari and I started the pod in our 50s. So, this is, this can be your most creative sort of time of life ever. What do you think happens that opens up women creatively? We talked about fearlessness, having no fucks left, which is not really caring about what other people think. What else? Anything else that makes you think that you think makes women be more creative in this moment?
Well, I think for sure that because so many people have lost jobs
Yeah.
and are professionally just like questioning, where they kind of want to go next and are tapping into these kind of dormant dreams,
Yeah.
or creativity, ironically, that's what one of my other stories is about, a woman who loses her job and she runs off to Europe and she starts pursuing this dormant creative dream that she had.
Wow.
And I wrote, just quick sidebar, I wrote the opening scene for that 4 months before the exact same thing like happened to me at work.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, did I manifest that? Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she also had a dog that had died and stuff. And
Oh, no.
it was wild. It was like when it happened to me, like after the shock, I mean, like the initial, just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I sat there and I was like, oh my God, the same thing happened to Perry. Like she was, going to London the next day to meet up with her friends. And, she gets let go in this really kind of coarse, inhumane way. And I was going to London the next day also to meet up with friends.
You better be careful.
I know.
Wow.
Well, she's going to win $1 million. Like she's going to win a lot of money.
She is definitely going to win a bunch of money.
Very, very good. She's going to meet James Bond. Like, the whole thing.
Amazing.
So I gotta imagine you're inspiring a lot of people who know you either professionally or personally. So I'm guessing, like us, you have women who come to your events who are kind of like, I don't know what to do next. Like they're afraid or they feel stuck, but they're inspired and they want to do more. Like, where do you usually tell people to start, or what do you usually ask them?
I usually tell them to just start and to not get so in the weeds with whatever it is, like thinking about like the result, the outcome, right? Because nothing in life is linear, first of all. And, you know, just because you see somebody else that looks successful doing something you want to do, until you start, you don't realize that that's not an A to B move. That is an A to Z, R to Q, F to W, like, like
Yep.
all these points in between, but you can't think about that so much. And to just start and allow yourself to be naive about it, because if you know everything, you won't do everything because it just seems much too insurmountable. But you just have to make like these really tiny baby steps, just every day. Do something for whatever it is your goal is. And then you're going to look back in 3 or 4 or 5 months and you will see that you've made like all this progress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like that's what party pants was for me, you know? Like I lost my job. I lost my job like 2 weeks after my dog died, and
Ugh.
had another surgery for my knee scheduled. I guess it was like 2 to 3 weeks after the job loss, or 3 weeks after. And I had it moved up so I could have my health insurance for the whole month of
Mm.
December, and to have all my physical therapy covered and stuff. But after that kind of initial like fog and grief with everything, in January, I was like, you know, speaking of what people or what women can tap into creatively, or like why, I just kind of started thinking, um, you know, creativity here is going to save me, because if I don't
Mhm.
like really kind of step into that, I don't know, I'm just gonna die because it's cold, it's dark here. I don't have my dog. Like I'm shuffling around on my like bum knee here in my place by myself, you know, like I gotta like do something. So I started taking all these acting classes. It had been so long since I had done that, and I just took a bunch of them, and just by like the grace of God, the timing of them all, one was starting a week after the other one ended. Like, and these were at like different places. It just kind of happened like that. So I signed up for all those. I started taking French lessons again. And I started, you know, just writing a lot more. And then my gut told me to go to South by Southwest. And that was in March, I believe it was.
Wow.
And I went there. Now, mind you, when you lose any job, but like especially like a job at a tech company like I was at,
Yeah.
the, all the financial stability is gone. You know, like I was
Yeah.
fortunate that I got a severance, and they had said, you know, that it could take them 90 days to pay. And I naively thought that, oh, they'll pay this by the end of the year. No, those
Mm.
motherfuckers waited until like, I swear to you, day 89.
Wow.
And I had savings and stuff too. And I was like, just definitely afraid that I was going to like run out like before the severance came in. So all that went away, like all my stock, and like, you know, it all goes away. So I had no money, and I was getting unemployment, and I was applying for jobs, but, and this is also to the point of what we're doing with bringing people together. I
Yep.
was applying for things, but it's like just sending a resume into a black hole.
Totally.
Right.
You know, if it wasn't that, I was getting ghosted by recruiters, or they'd pull an old switcheroo, you know, I'd apply for one thing, they'd contact me and they would tell me about another job. And I was like, well, what about that one? And they
Yep.
wouldn't even like really talk about it. They would just talk about this other thing. And I'd be like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then I still wouldn't hear back from them. So when all this was going on, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, I'm just gonna like use this as an opportunity to do or to be who I really am fully, you know? Like this is a gift, like to not be doing these things in the shadows of a job where you are just treated as a number on a spreadsheet. You know, they
Yeah.
do all this stuff to recruit you in and sell you on the bells and whistles and, you know, roll out all the carpets. And then at the end, it's just over. And they could give
Yeah.
a shit about you, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just like just jumped into all this creative stuff. And when I got to South by Southwest, I was at the film and TV happy hour, and all this stuff costs money that I
Sure.
decided to do. Like none of it was free, none of it was cheap. But I thought, you know, I believe in my ability to tell a story, so I'm gonna start putting myself in the places where I need to be in front of the right people. So I go there and I'm at the film and TV happy hour, and I was there for like less than 5 minutes. And this guy approached me. He was a producer about like acting in I'm sorry, in a series that his wife was writing. And he said, he's looking at me and he's like, "Oh my God, are you an actress?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh my goodness, you are, I forget the name, so and so." And I was like, "Is that a line? Like, what does that mean? What are you staring at me for?" He goes, he goes on to say that he has not been able to cast this particular character because this character is like based on a real person, and she's a Black woman, and she apparently was like very, very tall. And this
Holy moly.
takes place in the 1800s. And he's like, "I hadn't been able to find anybody, and I was about to go to like university girls basketball teams, but actors and stuff." And this is why I came here to find someone. And I said, "Well, this is why I came, to be found, you know?"
Wow.
So I went on to have like, a bunch of conversations with his wife, and I just read the pilot, fairly recently and stuff. So that happened. And then my gut was telling me to go to the London Screenwriters Festival in London. So I did that, and I pitched my work to a bunch of executives and directors and stuff. And the response was like really good. So I'm in this little bit of a holding pattern, just waiting for follow-ups and all that stuff. And then I don't even remember, but like there was just so much stuff that have happened over the year, and every little thing, I did not overthink it. I just thought, okay, I need to go to South by Southwest. I need to go to London. I need to do this. I'm going to start Chez Faint. Like people, my friends are telling me like, "Oh, I'm just tired of not being able to connect with people anymore," like all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh my goodness, like I love to host people. Like I did a version of Chez Faint like 20 years ago where I was charging people, I don't know, $50 then. And I would do like these bar crawls, and I would take, or restaurant crawls really, but we would go to like 3 different places, and the money would include like a drink and an appetizer, which is like random people. So I did that like way back then. And I remembered that. I was like, oh my goodness, let's do that again. Like I'm this kind of natural host, and I know all these people, and I travel and stuff. So, so my gut was like, okay, it's time to do that. And that was also like born of my need to want to meet other people in case people had like a professional opportunity for me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love this.
I mean, I'm hearing such an interesting. So first I want to ask a question, and then I want to kind of encapsulate this. So first, if I am hearing this correctly, you actually had not been writing and or acting for years. You were a model when you were younger, but just in the last 18 months, you took a screenwriting class, you started taking acting classes, singing classes, and now you just won Best Actress in the Berlin Indie Film Festival. Am I getting that right?
Most of that is correct. I started modeling, and then I started acting. I did voice acting first, and then I had all my lives.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you had this big space of time where you weren't doing that, but all of a sudden
Yeah,
you
well, I wasn't doing it
reconnected.
full, full stop,
Okay.
I had published my 2 novels, and I had done
Okay.
essays, and I had an online beauty store at one time, ahead of the market, I'll say, where I had colors for all of us, natural
Nice.
makeup. I did that a while ago. But yes, but mostly after I lost my job, when I decided I'm going to take this creative gap year and just balls to the wall, everything, kind of see
I
what,
love that.
Amazing.
like when else would I have this opportunity to kind of step out of life, but like really step into it?
Well, that's what I'm hearing. And I'm also, the other piece that I think is so fascinating is, again, most people would take these. I think most people would look at what happened to you and think of these as just like one shitty thing after another happening. And instead, you went, nope, I'm going to take this opportunity to refocus on what I love and fill me up. And I'm going to invest in myself.
Yes.
Do I have all this money? Yes, no, whatever. But I'm not going to, if I'm feeling pulled and I'm listening to my gut, and I'm understanding that what I want right now is A, I'm going to do everything in my power to make A happen
Yes.
instead
Yeah.
of crawling up into a fetal position and being like, well, life's over, you know. So I
Right.
mean, it's so inspiring.
I was going to add as a coach, like what I absolutely love about this and what like we try to, convey and instill is this idea that not just following your gut, but you can get these gut, you have to act on it, right?
Right.
Like you actually have to act on it. And then you decided if and let the how come to you. And I think so many people they don't do anything until they know all the how and they spin about it. And that sounds super critical. That's just really human. And
Right.
what the reason like this is working out for you is because you had no idea what the how was going to be or if it would even be. You
Yeah.
just kind of went with your gut and you put yourself in the path of things that worked out because
Yes.
you didn't overthink that either.
Yeah.
And that's also why I went to Europe for a few months this past summer, because when I started taking my French lessons, I get an email through the French school here to, study in the south of France at our sister school in Montpellier. And I'd never been to the south of France. I'd been to Paris a million times, but for whatever reason, had never made it to the south. And I just thought, oh, well, that would be interesting. It's kind of cold and shitty here right now. And it's, very nice in the south of France. So I looked into that and it turned out to be far less expensive than I thought it would have been, probably because of, not Paris. And so I decided to do it. Again, my gut was like, you know what? I should go do that. And then this was wild. And this is all tying back to like, if you want to do something, just start because you never know like what is going to lead to, something else and something else. I was researching what there is to do in Montpellier besides, I don't know, go to the beach or something. And I learned in my research that the south of France, Montpellier specifically, the government has put all these resources into building up the creative industries there, like the film business and TV business and stuff. And I was like, oh my goodness, look at that. What do you know? Like a government like actually like supporting the arts. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that's a novel concept. So I reached out to this lady on the website and I was, introduced myself and I told her what I was doing. And I said, oh, I would love to meet with you when I'm there to see, I don't know, just to talk or whatever. So I said, but can we have a Zoom first? So we got on a call a week later. I told her about my screenplays and, Chez Faint and all these things. And she's like, this is wonderful. She says, well, I'll introduce you to the people when you get here. She introduced me to everybody. Okay. She
Wow.
took me to this event that they were already having that was like for the audio visual industry. And, networking and speaking English is hard enough, let alone trying to do it in another language, and they did not speak English as much as they do like in Paris. So it was very, very, very intimidating. But the people I met, everybody was just so warm and friendly, and they indulged me. I
Mm.
would, je m'appelle Trinette, j'habite à Boston, ici pour 2 semaines, or whatever I was saying. And they would just listen. They're like, okay, okay, okay. They would let me talk. But these people were like at the top of their game in the entertainment business down there. Like I
Wow.
met executive producers, I met creative directors at TV and film studios, all these things. And then I had all these subsequent follow-ups with people where I was able to talk to them about my stories. So because of that, I have like this whole community now in the south of France that I know. And when I told them about Chez Faint, they were like, oh my goodness, like we could definitely use something like this sort of business down here because the entertainment sectors there are, creative sectors are very siloed,
Mm.
but they don't like necessarily come together. And they're like, oh, we could totally see you like coming down here and, kind of facilitating all this stuff. And that was not on my agenda when I went down there, but I was like, huh. It's like that is something that I could do, that I could create that space and own that space like while I'm there and
Yeah.
work in this very creative industry and still like have my base in Boston and basically be doing the same thing, like
Yeah.
expand business. So when people want to start something, they literally just have to start.
Yeah.
When it came time for party pants, when I had that moment in the gym and my own pants, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. And I did. And I had met all these people before, like I'd met the actor on a different job because I had started booking like commercials and stuff, like as a consequence of my taking these acting classes. Like prior when I was auditioning, like I wasn't booking. And then suddenly I just started booking stuff.
Mm.
And I'd met that guy and I just had like this network of people. So doing party pants was basically like this culmination of all these little steps that I had taken over the course of the year. Now, if you'd have told me last year or even earlier this year that this is how this gap year was going to end, I would have called you crazy. I would have been like, well, I don't know, maybe in 2 or 3 years I can make
Right.
it, but like, how am I going to do that now?
You have to start to get somewhere though. So
Yeah,
Right.
amazing.
yeah. And it all just kind of happened. And I've since started writing a memoir about this time because, you know, like lots of people can write a memoir about losing a job, but I think it has this bit of an unusual angle of like,
Yeah.
actors went like, that's like crazy. So I'm like, I've just gone through too much stuff to not, you know, write something down and help the reader, you know, understand like how to start and do all these different things. So you just have to start and just don't get in your head so much about it. Small
I mean,
steps.
it's literally where we started, right? Like this idea of just do it. Don't overthink it. I love Kari pointing out not needing to know the how. Um, this has been such a fun conversation. You are so inspiring. I'm like, we've known each other about 58 minutes and I'm just like so proud of you.
Yeah,
I think it's so cool. Um, we normally end with a song, and we usually ask our guest. You didn't have one written down, so I want to ask a question. Are you actually a big Aerosmith fan?
I do like Aerosmith, not as much as I like ABBA, but
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Well, I also like ABBA. I just wondered, is there a song that maybe?
Voulez-Vous.
Oh,
Oh, that's such a
done,
good one.
done and done.
I love that song.
Is that
Oh,
your
And also
karaoke
all the
go-to?
French.
Do
So
you go,
good.
do you do that for karaoke?
no, but I sing it around here a lot by
That's
myself.
awesome.
That's
That's
so
awesome.
I went
good.
to the ABBA Museum in Stockholm, April, I think, of 2004. Oh, man. I was like, if I can move into any place, it would be in this museum.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that is
All right.
awesome.
Well, Voulez-Vous is the song that will be attached to
Yes,
this
thank you.
episode. So good.
Yeah, I want to say we could have you back, especially when you're writing this memoir. I would really love it because just this
Yeah.
whole conversation is reminding. I think it's just a reminder that reinvention is not a crisis; it's a creative act. It's not even just
Mm.
an opportunity; it's a creative act, right? And what a beautiful response to it. There's so many days lately. I mean, just while we're recording this, we're in a week of massive layoffs. So I can imagine people listening to this being so inspired, right? That
Yeah.
it's always hard in these moments to wonder what you can do with it. And this is the most inspiring story. I appreciate it so much.
I'll just give one other like little tidbit is when you start, try not to think so much about the money aspect. Like I've
Mm.
had to spend like a ton of money investing in myself. If you
Yep.
think about the time and energy you give to a company, and obviously, yes, we all need a paycheck. I'm not saying that we don't, but the time and energy and money that you can invest in yourself is worth way more than anything they could ever give you. You know, I've had moments for sure where I have, you know, near panics and like freaking out, but the universe will provide, and it sounds so
Yeah.
hokey. I've heard everybody say it before, but you don't know it until you are in it.
Yep.
And it does happen, you know, just a
But
few,
you have to allow it to happen, right? Like
you
you're
do
right.
have to let that.
The universe
You have to,
provides. It is a cliche. But if you allow it
yes,
to happen, you will find it.
Can I
that's
add to
like
that too? Like
going
allow
by
it and
faith.
show up for it.
Yes.
Like don't allow it and stay home.
Yes. Yes. No,
Yeah,
it
and
You have
is.
to show up.
so many things. I mean, we don't have time to talk about now, but I've had so many instances over the year where something would happen. Very, very briefly, I went to a writer's retreat and I paid money, my deposit, and I was like, oh my God, like, should I even be doing this? Like a couple days later, I was like, can't afford this. And I kid you not, like the next day, I got an Airbnb booking from my guest room because that was one of the things that I did to earn some extra money that covered the cost of the retreat and then some. Like
Yep.
that has happened more times over
But
this.
people don't look for that proof, right? You're right. It is about faith. But if you sit and look for the proof that the universe, God, whatever you put it out, witches, spells, whatever it might be, like if you look for the proof, it absolutely is there. So I love that you're experiencing that. And then it does motivate you to keep doing it. So it
Yes,
is that just beginning piece again.
been getting that best actress when I was like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep on going.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Oh
a
my
big
God.
sign.
Well, speaking of which, again, we have put the link to Party Pants in the show notes. So bop over there and take a look. It is 11 minutes of humor, honesty, heart, just like if you are a woman of a certain age, you are absolutely going to be like, Jesus Christ, she wrote about me.
I know, right? And also just listening to this today, I'm guessing that anyone craving this kind of connection that we talked about is hearing loud and clear. Like find your people, start the conversation, make the art, and that's how change begins. And just be open to it. So what beautiful messages. Thank you.
Thank
Is
you
there
so
anything
much.
else you want to say before we wrap up?
Think so, but I'm gonna go put on some voulez-vous now.
I think I might as well. Trinette,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'm with Kari. Let's have you back when that memoir is written because I think that is
All
going to
right.
be a really important book for many, many women to read.
I'm already
So
manifesting that is on all the bestsellers.
I'll manifest it with you. Absolutely. Thanks everyone for listening. Please pass this on to anyone you know who is, whether they've lost a job or not, they might just be in that space of thinking, God, I know there's got to be something more, but I don't know it. I don't know how to even begin. And as Trinetta said time and time again, it is really just what's next? What is your first best step? So this is a
Mm,
absolutely fabulous episode for you to share with friends and family. Uh,
indeed.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we will be back next week.
Bye.